They dropped the age from 21 to 20, and of course then they had me right away. And then I went down, they sent me down to Fort Benning, Georgia in the 10th Armored Division. And I never ate anything too much in all my life. The chiggers and the rattlesnakes and the grits and eggplant, those are my favorites. Then finally one day I was going by the bulletin board and I noticed a sign on the bulletin board that they were looking for some Norwegian-speaking boys, and boy, that was tough soup for me. So I signed my name and I said to the guy next to me, "That's the last I'll ever see of that." God, I hadn't been in the orderly room an hour before they came and got me. I mean, I'm back in the barracks an hour before they came and got me. And they explained what it was, that they were organizing a Norwegian ski battalion to train in Camp Hill, Colorado. I said, "Lead the way, boy, we're gone." Then they took me right into Columbus, Georgia, and then like I said before, 3 days and 3 nights later, I was in Pueblo, Colorado. Then I switched trains there and went through the Royal Gorge, and God, the Rockies were beautiful. I'd never seen them before. And I remember it was a Sunday morning when I came into Camp Hill. Of course, they had a lot of snow there. It was April. And I was already assigned to Company B. Walter was there too then. But there was a guy from Thief River here, a guy I knew real well. So we went to dinner, and I sold my plate and sat down, and I said, "What's the occasion?" And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, why the big banquet?" He said, "This is the way we eat all the time." Well, I was telling you, I got sick of grits and eggplant. I was used to that. It was a steady diet. And we went to that big chateau by Liège, Belgium. And it was the third day. That was the 16th. It broke out. And I think Colonel Hanson got notified in the evening, alerted. And daylight the next morning, he woke us all up and out in that courtyard and said, "We're going to hurry up and have breakfast and get on the way. Like he always said, there's a mild disturbance up in Normandy," he said. "Some small arms fire," he said. "We've got to go see what's going on." He always said that. And of course, his small arms fire turned out to be that every time. For some reason or other, right after the hedgerows in Normandy, then the 99th was sent alone. I think they did that on purpose to see what we could do to take the town of Elbeuf. But we were supposed to go in towards the town, into the town, up to the railroad tracks, and stop, because the Canadians were supposed to come in from the other side. Well, things were going so good with Colonel Hanson, he never stopped at any railroad track. We went right into town, and it was the damnedest street fighting you've ever in your life seen. All day and all night, and the next day at noon we called for some air cover help. And here come a bunch of P-51s and 47s and P-38s. And damn it, they took the wrong end of town. They took us instead of the Germans. Mm. And they hammered the hell out of us. Well, then the Canadians came in at about that time. And they finished it off. But after that, about all we did was special duty. Plug a hole or a hot spot or whatever it was. And it didn't take long, no matter who we were ever hooked up with. We had our nickname immediately. Those stubborn Norwegians is what they called us, those stubborn Norwegians. In fact, the one officer said, "They're crazy." He said, "They move with the speed of a bunch of tanks." He said, "I never seen such a bunch of nuts."